It's a Sabbath day. Ah, everybody have a good week. I know I did. Until I went to the grocery store. Anyway, yeah, that's talk about that another day. But that's a sore subject for some of y'all, or most of y'all, whichever. So I guess we'll get started with the show this week. I thought real hard all week about whether I wanted to talk about this or not, because when I go to places or I talk to people, it doesn't take me long to see through the person or see through the situation, and I don't know why I am that way. And about 85% of the time, I've ended up being right. So I have to be real careful about what I talk about or what I say, because sometimes the old filter don't filter right, and sometimes I hurt people's feelings. And but then I thought about it, and if I keep this stuff to myself, if I'm not truthful about this stuff, and I just sit back and tell stories, then uh, I'm doing a disservice. I'm hurting people. I'm hurting my kids. I'm hurting my family when they sit back and rewatch this, and it goes against the show. Like the sign says, it's real talk. So I guess as I work on myself to open up, I'm just gonna get it on out there and throw it on out there. And hey, these are my opinions, and if you agree with it, if you can relate to it, cool. If it upsets you, if you don't think it's true, then hey, I mean, that's your God-given right. That's your free will. And so, with that being said, let's just get on into this. When um, I'd like to say that at least half the people that see this or watch this goes to church. So, when was the last time any of y'all went to church? And I don't mean the mainstream church, the TV church. I mean church, the real church. Back in the day, earth, fire, and brimstone, and the pastor just put it out on there, and he was truthful, and he stayed true to the word, stayed true to the Bible. And hey, if you left crying, well, then you pretty much got the message and job well done. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. And I here within the last couple of years, me and my wife have bounced around from church to church, just trying to, not so much looking for a home, but just trying to just get a little sample of everything. At just about every church, just about every denomination, with the exception of one or two denominations that I won't even get near. But we just wanted to open up our eyes a little more, open up our minds a little more, and just kind of see some different styles, different techniques. Man, I gotta tell you, was I blown away. I ain't found a church yet. To be honest with you, I haven't found one. Tell you what I have found. I found a bunch of coffee bars, a bunch of little coffee shops, and some Broadway musicals. That's what I found. And I haven't found the pastor either. If we're gonna get on that subject, I've found nothing but some overpaid motivational speakers, a bunch of watered down coaches, pep coaches, whatever you want to call them. I don't honestly think a church or pastor exists anymore. So that got me to thinking and got me to wondering, hey, maybe y'all feel the same way. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Has anybody ever wondered if maybe that's why Jesus hasn't came back yet? Despite all the stuff that's going on around us, all the stuff that's playing out on TV, that's being talked about in the Bible, word for word, paragraph for paragraph. The Bible has been predicting every event, everything that's happened, everything that's going on. And Lord knows He got more than enough reasons to come back now and just set this sucker on fire. But what if He's giving us a chance because the churches aren't right? You know, the churches aren't doing what they're supposed to. You really think Jesus wanted that $10,000 coffee pot, that $15,000 espresso, or that $100,000 a year I'm sorry, motivational speaker that you got up on the stage? Because it's not a pastor. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't found one yet. Ain't nothing but a bunch of watered down, money hungry Joel Osteens. It's really about all I found, and it blows my mind that when you sit in these churches, and I'm not a front row person to begin with. I like to sit in the back. You know, I like to get a view of what's in front of me. I like to look around. I like to get a feel, get to see what the vibe is in the church. And it blows my mind that when the lights go off and the music plays and the smoke and the lasers and all that stuff starts, people just turn into zombies. They out there in the coffee shop just laughing and giggling and carrying on. And when the lights go dark, they turn into mute zombies, and it blows my mind. You know that y'all know good and well that's not what Jesus intended. He didn't want that $20,000 coffee pot out there. He wanted a house of worship. He wants us to come in, absorb His word, learn it, and then when we leave that building, we're supposed to be disciples. Because truth be told, church ain't even mentioned in the Bible, let alone a pastor. Those are man-made things. The Bible says that we are the church. The people are the church. And where two or more people are present, so is He. Man made that church. Man created pastors. Somewhere down the line, I'd like to be the person that started it. But somewhere down the line, someone looked at somebody, you're the pastor. Let it rip. Let's see what you got. And we're going to pay you X amount of monies to come in here twice a week and give a little speech. Because that's all they do. I bet half of y'all didn't know that they have websites online where these pastors go and get their weekly plans, get their monthly plans. Some of these pastors that tell you they like to stay 6 months ahead on their Sunday services. Who you know in their right mind got enough time to sit around and come up with 6 months worth of service? They're not. I don't care how much you pay them. I don't care what to tell you. They're getting this stuff online. They're getting these pre-made services online, and they're taking them. They're downloading them, changing up a little bit here, changing up a little bit there. And that's what they're preaching, y'all. When's the last time you seen a pastor standing up at the podium with a Bible? I think I've been to one in the last 8 years that actually had a Bible. Rest of them either went off their phone or went off their tablet. Now, what you think they're reading off that tablet? They're not reading their notes. They're reading what they downloaded, and that's not gonna work. That's not gonna. Come on in here. Hold on, I got a visitor. Come on in, sit down. Come on. You ain't. She's camera shy. Come on. Go over there and sit down, man. You ain't gotta sit on the camera. Man, y'all gotta help me work on her. She's camera shy. You don't want to come in and get on the camera? Oh, get on out of here. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the pastors. Yeah. Yeah, the pastors are fake. I'll be honest with you. Churches are fake. All of it is. It's all a big play now. And it's not gonna get any better. Hold on. Are you standing there? You don't want to come over here? I'm gonna work on it. Work in progress. Hold on a minute. Anyway, I'm back. I had to take care of some kids. And what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the pastors. So just to kind of give you another little story. Here not too long ago, we was at a particular church. Yeah, I'm not gonna name any names. Yeah, I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, but they had mentioned that in the coming weeks they was gonna go on a trip to Israel. Nothing to do with the church. No, nothing business related. They was just gonna take I think it was a 20th or 30th anniversary trip to Israel. Cool. Hey, I'm happy for you. So as the weeks led up to this, the Sunday before they was leaving, they hey, we're gonna be gone next week. So and so is gonna get up here and preach the message next week. Blah blah blah. And before he was done, one of the lead youth pastors jumped up on stage and hey, on behalf of the church, as a blessing to you and your wife, we would like to take a love offering up to help with your trip to Israel. When was the last time any of y'all been on vacation? So needless to say, before them services were over with, they had taken up a love offering from everybody. Now I'm sitting in the back, mind you, and these people are whipping out debit cards, they're whipping out checkbooks, cell phones, apps. I mean, this church, you could do it online with the app. You could do it on the actual website for the church, or you could leave a check out there in the foyer. These people they look, it looked like the stock market. I mean, they just whipping phones, whipping out checkbooks. And I'm just looking around. I'm looking at everybody, and I'm like, what is going on here? They're not going on a business trip. Has nothing to do with the church. They're just going flat out on vacation. So, needless to say, they went on. Church was over with. Everybody went on their day. So the next service, they had made the announcement about how enough people had donated to where it paid for their vacation 100%. Now, they didn't give any specifics, but knowing the pastor, pretty sure they went first class. Pretty sure they stayed at a 5-star hotel. You do the math on that. To Israel for 5 days, thousands of dollars. To maybe 10,000, depending on how you want to spend, what you want to spend, who you fly with, all that. The congregation paid for this 100%. Maybe I looked at it wrong, but that's not what the church should be used for. That's not the platform it should be used for. That's not what the pulpit should be used for. How are you just throwing money at this pastor? The pastor already gets over $100,000 a year, and you just threw all this money and just paid for these people a $10,000 vacation, knowing good well you got an empty refrigerator at the house. You got disconnect lights, disconnect on your water. Car probably at 2 months behind, and this whole church comes together and slaps these people with all expense paid to Israel. And that dadgum one of y'all been out of this state in probably the last 10 years. Probably ain't been on a real vacation in the last 15 years. I know I haven't. I know none of the people around me have. Can't afford to. $3 worth of gas a gallon. So it blows my mind how the church it's not a church anymore. It's turned into a cash flow. And that's it. That the church is not being used for what it's intended for. It's turned into a coffee business and a musical, and the word's been lost. And maybe, just maybe, that's why Jesus hasn't came back yet. Because if he comes back, forget about all the other stuff that's going on in the news. He's liable to come back, and these churches are going to go up in flames. Because none of them are staying true to the word. None of them are preaching the gospel. So they're more worried about that 100% Colombian bean coffee or that double espresso. That's what they're really worried about. So anyway, that's my thoughts for the week. So hopefully I'll see y'all again next week. So y'all have a blessed one.